Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, The Loot Grinder. This is my first video that I've actually made for this channel, so I really hope you enjoy what you see. But let's just not wasting time and get straight into the video. So, if you haven't picked this great frame up yet, Valkyr, then the place you get her from is Alad V Boss Fight. And he is located on Jupiter, and I believe the mission node is the Misto. I could be wrong on that. But go check it out anyway, because you need to pick her up because she's such a great frame. She's actually a really good early one to pick up as well. So, new players will have a really good time with this frame as well. And I will be making a new player build for Valkyr as well, just for people that are still going through the star chart. So, I want to keep that video separate because two very different audiences. Now, this is my build for Valkyr. However, there are two things I would like to mention. One is I've used two Umbral Formers. Now before you get alarmed, this, you don't need to use two. One would probably be plenty for this build. And with a few minor changes, you could probably make just as good of a build to a degree. Obviously not as good, but just as functional without using Umbral mods or all of the Umbral mods. It just wouldn't be as survivable, but you could make do. The other thing I'd like to say, and I know people like to slate this a bit, but I do use Gloom. Now, I did use Gloom as soon as it came out because it is such a great ability and it works on Valkyr so well because it couples very well with her Warcry ability. Gloom does slow all the enemies down with enough range, and Warcry at the same time also slows enemies down with enough range. And so you do get this kind of slow effect whilst you move faster. It just feels great to use, and I wouldn't put any other ability on her. So with those two things out of the way, let's get into the main bit of the build. So Swift Momentum is my personal choice of aura. It just allows me to have extra combo duration whilst having faster, heavy attacks. It just feels great to do, and those 6 seconds do really make a difference. However, if you want to not use as many Umbral Formers, then you could stick Steel Charge here, and it would still work amazingly well on this build. Because we are using an Eternal Warcry build, and it works absolutely amazingly. The Extra slot is a personal choice, however I do use Prime Sure-Footed because it's such a good mod. But it does have a hefty price to pay of 400 days of logging time before you can even start using it. There are many other mods you can use here, like Power Drift and all that, so it is a personal choice, but I have to recommend Prime Sure-Footed. In the main bit of the build, we've got Hunter Adrenaline. That's for just keeping my energy up. You don't have to use Arcane Energize for energy. You can solely rely on Hunter Adrenaline, but I would recommend both if you've got them. I then use Prime Continuity. This just keeps my duration nice. 150% I think is perfect. I don't really have any issues with running out of energy. So Hunter Adrenaline is a great way of keeping your energy up whilst you're taking a lot of punishment, which Valkyr can absolutely do because she has one of the highest, if not the highest, armor pool in the game. And adding Umbral, I think without Umbral Intensify she has 700. So, sticking Umbral Fiber on puts her up to 1,802 armor. She can really take some punishment. With Umbral Vitality as well buffing it, and Umbral Intensify also buffing them, you get 930 health, which seems quite low, but it's perfect, and you can get it with a few more levels. You can get that up a little bit more. And then for some more survivability, I use Adaptation, which makes it so any damage type in the game that hits you, you can build up a resistance up to 90% for each damage type for 20 seconds. And that timer will keep regenerating if you keep taking that damage. So it's a really good way of just mitigating a lot of that damage. I also use Prime Flow just to give me that energy pool to build up so that I just don't have to worry about energy at all, and it allows me some casts of Hysteria whilst also running Gloom at the same time. I don't tend to use Hysteria much, so my claw build's not going to be great, but I'll show you that anyway. And then I use Eternal War. This is the Warcry augment for Valkyr, and while Warcry is active, for every melee kill you get, you'll get 2 seconds back at the base duration. However, with my continuity, you get 3 seconds back per kill, which is absolutely fine if you keep killing with melee. This build still works great even if you don't like using melee, because the Warcry actually with this build buffs your armor by 85% and also increases your speed and decreases enemy speed by 51%. So it's a great ability just to keep popping every now and then. So this has been my build for Valkyr. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to go into some Steel Path gameplay so you can see the build in action. So thanks very much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. So I'd like to see if you can make any improvements to the build, and I'll catch you in the next video.